Hey guys, welcome back. Bolt Spider here, and today I have an interesting video today. I was going through my old sent emails, and I found an email that I sent when I was 15 to Konami. And I had to transfer all of these over to the lovely Google Doc. So let's take a look at them, and let me pull it up real quick. Because a lot of these erratas actually were kind of just spot on when we look at it. Okay, first off, we have, can you please try and make this happen? And this was back, let's see. This was back in July 10th, 2014. So this was an interesting ban list for sure. And they've released the first wave of erratas. And let's get right into it. So first off, we have Chaos Emperor Dragon. Now, there was one error that was there. So we have, cannot be normal summoned to set, must first be special summoned from your hand by banishing one light or dark monster from your graveyard. You can pay 1,000 life points, send all cards on the field to the graveyard, then inflict 300 damage to your opponent for each card sent to the graveyard by this effect. So overall, this was actually very close to the actual current effect of Chaos Emperor Dragon, excluding that it must be at the start of the main phase and is a hard once per turn. The things that actually transferred quite well over was the send all cards from the field to the graveyard part instead of the field and hand. So that's one of the most interesting things that there is. Then we have Cyberstein. Once per turn, you can pay 5,000 life points, special summon one fusion monster from your extra deck in face-up defense. So if you guys don't know, Cyberstein doesn't have the once per turn clause on it. So pretty much you could just pay as much as you want if you have the certain setup for it. You could pay pretty much null life points constantly. And I think I am a little... There we go. Sorry if I was a little slow. Next, we have Tribe Infecting Virus. This card's currently at 3, and it does nothing once per turn. I put a once per turn clause on it, like a lot of other things in this list. So everything is the same except for the once per turn clause. Then we have Dark Magician of Chaos. This is the only one that I don't think it works with the card that they also had to fix as well. Dark Magician of Chaos, the MOC. This card cannot be special summoned. It should be from the graveyard or cannot be special summoned while banished. When this card is tribute summoned, target one spell card in your graveyard, add it to your hand. When this face-up card is destroyed, either by battle or by card effect, banish this card. The actual errata that it got was a hard once per turn, and you add the spell card at the end of the turn. Next is Fiber Jar. It is still the exact same, except it doesn't do anything with the graveyard. But both players can only use this effect of Fiber Jar once per duel. So it's a once per duel effect for both players if one gets activated. So that's definitely very interesting that I thought about that. Magical Scientist is another one that is a once per turn clause, but that is what it's pretty much could go to. I don't know what I just did there. Next, we have Bryonic Dragon Iceberry. Same requirements, summon it. But it's a once per turn. You can discard any number of cards to the graveyard to target the same number of cards on the field. Return those card targets to the hand. It is a hard up effect, I believe now, and it only targets cards your opponent controls. So, overall, it is close to what I emailed them with. And let's get to another one. We have number 16 Shockmaster. It is the same setup for Seal Storm or Evil Storm or Ouroboros. Once per turn, you can detach one material from this card, then activate one of these effects. Each effect can only be used once while this card is face up on the field. Monsters cannot be activated. Spells and traps cannot be activated, but detaching one. So you have to legit flip it and flip it back face up to activate the same effect. Now, this next one is a very interesting one. It is a Wind Up Carriers and Mighty. It's the same exact effect, but it's a hard op effect. So that is very important that I actually made this card hard opt. And those were all the banned cards. Now we have the limited cards. Dark Armor Dragon is the exact same, except it's just it's a soft once per turn. You can banish 1 dark from your graveyard. But now Dark Armor Dragon's at 3. Same for Brionix is at 3. And they really aren't doing anything because Brionica and Errata, it did do something in Salamander when they were meta. And Dark Armor Dragon really hasn't done much since it's been at 3 because it's just slower. Now we have Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, the one that was exact, almost exact. You can special summon this card from your hand by banishing 1 Dragon-type monster you control. Once per turn, you can special summon 1 Dragon-type monster from your hand or graveyard. You can only activate this effect of Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon once per turn. And, of course, I mistyped there, so I could just do that. Darkness Metal Dragon once per turn. It's a hard up on the summon and the summon effect and the special summon effect in the actual new Errata. But in this one, I just said the special summon effect is fine to go to a hard up. Next, we have Legendary Six Samurai Shien. Same summoning condition. And it's you can only control 1 Shien. Okay, everything else is the same, but you can only control 1 Legendary Six Samurai Shien. Okay. Next is Gold Sarcophagus. Banish 1 card from your deck face up. During the second standby phase after this card activation, add that card to your hand. You can only use the effect of Gold Sarcophagus once per turn. So here's another once per turn strike again. Next, we have 1 day piece. You can only activate 1 day piece during your main phase 1. Both players draw 1 card and neither player takes damage until the end of your opponent's next turn. So it's only a main phase 1 effect. It should be a hard once per turn effect, or a hard once per duel effect to bring it back to 3. But 1 day piece, this was back in 2014. This was before when extravagance was a thing. So they could have gotten a lot of ideas from this and a lot of other ideas from what people sent in for card design or things to think of new within the people who actually make the card. Now this is the oddball one. We have Advanced Ritual Art. Choose 1 ritual monster in your hand. Send 1 normal monster from your deck to the graveyard whose level total are equal, whose total levels are equal to the ritual monsters. Then ritual summon 1 ritual monster from your hand. You can only activate 1 Advanced Ritual Art once per turn. A hard once per turn on Advanced Ritual Art, it really doesn't do anything anymore. And then we have New Space and Granule. You can only activate the effect once per turn, which you only summon once per turn, so this errata was quite pointless. These 2 cards are at 3. And the next one is Insector Dragonfly, because I was a fan of Insectors back then. Those were good times. I put a hard op on the effect. If it becomes a problem, there's a hard op there. So we have once per turn, you can equip 1 Insector, blah, blah, blah. You can only use the effect of Insector Dragonfly once per turn. But yeah, this is like an old list of erratas that I actually emailed Konami. Which is funny. So if you guys enjoyed just looking over all of this, tell me down in the description. I can definitely do more of these videos in the future for sure. But anyways, I've been Bolt Spider. See you guys in the next video, and goodbye.